Hi, I'm Mario Guerra, two-time former mayor of the great city of Downey, and I'm here with my co-host, Councilmember Horacio Ortiz. And you're watching Talking Downey with Mario
and Horacio.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing good on there. We taped these the day after a council meeting, so you were up late last night for a long council meeting.
It was a really productive council meeting. It was good. It was a good meeting.
You guys had a lot. I just for everybody's information, you and I know that. So I watched it at home, but we were at Little League games last night for my grandson. So we get home and we eat, and I started watching around 9 o'clock. Well, it was 11 something before it was over. I'm watching it on my iPad and my plug, and my wife's like, "What are you doing?" I'm watching the council meeting. So I'm watching your discussion. So what are your thoughts about last night? You guys got a lot of things done.
A lot of things were brought up in our council meeting. Another great item that we're coming up is a dog park, which is coming to District 1, which I'm excited for. We were supposed to have that in District 3, Crawford Park, but unfortunately that property is owned by Edison, so they don't want anything to do with
which is kind of sad because that's a lot of space there, Crawford Park.
A lot of potential for that.
So I like your motion, and his motion was, okay, let's go forward with Golden Park, and staff did a nice job presenting both of them, and I think both of them were good. But your motion was to go forward on Golden Park, but then to also, keep pushing for on Crawford Park and hopefully have two.
Yeah, hopefully we can have, with Crawford Park, go 3. Right. What I'm hoping for...
I meant 2 new ones.
2 new ones.
Yeah.
What I'm hoping, I think that every district should have a dog park. Yeah. So at some point, it's going to reach that to that level. It's just a matter of when.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, I remember it was Dave Gaffin and I sitting in the back talking about the dog park, and because Mario, do you mind if I run with it? I'm like, no, Dave, go ahead. And then we named it after him, and I'm sorry, I didn't want a dog park named after me. That was good. But we had the first one there. I was on the council on there, so that's good. I think if people have a chance to go out and Golden Park, I think is a perfect spot where they're doing it. Where's it? Behind the basketball courts?
Behind the basketball courts. And you know what is interesting? When I was hearing staff talking a little bit about like how many people go to the dog park, it was a lot.
Yeah.
So I think the need is there.
Yeah.
And so I saw my little brother. He went because he has a pit bull, and he was like, I wanted Crawford Park because that's where my family lives.
Oh yeah.
But I was like, no, I have Golden Park is the best option right now.
I'm scared of that breed. I'm sorry. I'm scared of pit bull. And I know everybody will tell you, especially ones that have them.
Yes.
Oh, they're sweet if you treat them right and blah, blah, blah. I don't know, man. I'm scared of that. So Dr. Brosmer, when he was running on there, you did, and we all did, you walk, you canvas at homes and stuff. So Roger Brosmer was chased down the street by a pit bull. And one of the things he got on the council, he wanted to ban the breed.
Oh, he did.
And we actually had a whole meeting discussion about it because he was scared. And it never came up to a vote per se, but I'm scared of them too. I don't want to be close.
I'm gonna tell my brother right now too.
Yeah, tell your brother, keep him away from me on there
before they get banned.
We won't see you. Yeah, no, that was a long time ago. But he really did get chased. That's so funny. Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. I think it'll be great, good for the residents of District 1.
Yes.
And so forth. So you guys had a long discussion about that. So tell us, there was another a couple more discussions. One on one item that you brought up about tobacco and the tobacco placements of stores selling tobacco products.
Yeah, and you know what? I brought up that for discussion was because during my campaign, a lot of my residents were telling me issues that they're facing with tobacco or also drug-related issues with worry about their kids and everything. Mm-hmm. My first solution is always to help the kids.
Right.
And so I wanted to make sure I help the kids, and that was my main objection in this motion. So originally, I just felt there was a lot of smoke shops in my district. There's 5 in my district, 4 in District 2, 4 in District 3, and 3 on District 4, 16 in total. I think it's just a lot of smoke shops we have in our city. And I originally, my motion was to limit the amount of smoke shops we have available in our city. But, I realized after discussion with my council colleagues that they weren't so much in favor of it. But in compromise with my council colleague Dorothy Pemberton, I heard her, you know what, I'm okay with a buffer zone within certain areas,
Right.
schools, playgrounds, churches, which was great.
Right.
You know, like that was my purpose, to protect our kids and our youth,
Right.
and that's an easier place. So I was like,
Right.
I'm all for it.
Yeah, and I'm glad you guys are able to compromise. I know that Mayor Pro Tem Sosa originally his first comments was, that obviously
There was no need.
there's already a lot of regulation,
Yeah.
if you will, on smoke shops or any tobacco products. I mean, we're in the state of California, the most regulated. And Dorothy kind of followed, and I'm glad that you went from option 3, which is like no new ones, to hey, maybe look at the buffer zone, and stuff like that.
And it's all about compromise. And I was like listening to my council colleagues and seeing what their opinion was, because obviously we don't discuss that to each other, but that was an opportunity for me to be like, okay, let's hear what my other council colleagues want, what their needs are, and what are they interested in, and then I took that chance and follow suit with Dorothy. So it was good.
Yeah, that was great. So, okay, so I think what they voted on was to bring it back to the council, the discussion, and the staff is going to see what the buffer zones between any educational things and so forth like that. And you guys were looking at 1,000 feet. I'd be surprised if there's any that close already, because I would have thought that close within to a school.
I think the closest is 500 feet from a school.
Okay, all right. Okay.
So they said they're going to do more research on it, but I think the closest one is 500 feet from a school.
Okay.
And then the next one was about like 700. So it's pretty near our schools.
Okay.
And so they're going to bring, that's why Dorothy said 500 feet is very little, distance. So let's move it up to 1,000 feet. I said, okay, well, let's start from 1,000 and see what staff recommends afterwards.
Yeah. Okay. All right. And then the other big topic that you guys talked about was and this was a little complicated for everybody. So let me set it up for you. Okay. So there's a downtown specific plan and a Downey Landing specific plan. The downtown specific plan is not the downtown district association. It is not. Okay. The boundaries, the downtown district is a lot smaller than the downtown specific plan. I was part of the downtown specific plan. I was part of both coming into play, but the downtown specific plan encompasses the downtown district, but it makes it broader. And the rules, you guys remember, Downey Avenue and all this area was dead. There was nothing here, okay? You could stand in the middle of the street for 20 minutes. So, and now it's a very lively downtown that goes all the way to Firestone and all the way to Paramount. So the downtown specific plan, which is an award-winning plan.
Yeah.
Dave Gaffin and I went to the COG to receive an award in Palm Springs.
Oh, wow, I didn't know that.
So yeah, we won an award for the planning and the goodness of that.
What year was that?
That was in 2009.
Wow.
Okay, when we first got that on there. So, yeah, it was a lot of planning. And Roger Brosmer and I were the downtown specific committee on there, and we worked with our staff, and it took a couple years to do. So the object was to incentivize businesses to come, to make it easier, help through the process. But one of the things that was on there that, frankly, I kind of forgot that it was, is even if you were selling alcohol, you don't need a conditional use permit. A conditional use permit is a way for staff in a city to kind of have a little control on you, okay? So you don't go out of control. If you're a restaurant and you're violating your alcohol laws every single night and the police are there every night, so you can get called to the city. It's like, hey, you better do something or you can lose your conditional use permit, which basically kind of puts you out of business. So that was in that specific plan. So now what was brought up to the council, because they're the downtown, it's almost a victim of its own success.
Yes.
There's a lot of issues because there's a lot of successful businesses that get out at 2 a.m. and things like that. So it was brought up by the council to have staff give them recommendations on what to do to make it safer and make all these businesses, and is it fair?
And this was in light of one incident that occurred at
the shooting at the Mambo Grill on there. And also there was 585 police calls, I think, in the last 2 years or something like that. It was pretty substantial. And it was also the same thing for the Downey Landing specific plan. In the Downey Landing, it's not just the promenade, it's some of the other restaurants leading up to it, and so forth. So that had some of the same issues, but just in a small, I think it was like 200 and something police calls in a smaller basis and stuff. So what it did is it came back to the council and said, so the council to make a decision. I think you guys had like 6 options or something.
Yeah.
So all the way from doing nothing to making it all come back.
All the businesses that came forward
yeah.
that started here, they have to come and get a CUP,
Right.
which is, I just, as a business owner, I just don't see that was fair for them.
Right.
We were telling you, come to our city.
Right.
And now that you came to our city,
Right.
now you have to come and get all this.
Right.
So
Okay, so once they did it, so I agree with you on that. Okay, now keep going. One of them was any new business coming in.
Any new business,
Okay, and then all the combinations of how do you set that tone on there. So tell us what you guys ended up doing.
So I mean, we all agreed that we're gonna hold this off a little bit and put in this is a good option, but it was interesting to see how our current staff and protection security measures that we're going to take into place, how that can keep our downtown Downey safe. And then if it does not work, then we can come back and revisit this action. And so that's what we decided as a council together.
Okay, and that's fair. So let me be a contrarian here.
Yes.
Okay, so I understand the tobacco products and so forth and being away from kids in schools, but there's nothing on the downtown specific plan that has the same situation. You can have alcohol close to a school now. There's no ordinance to that, and they don't even need a conditional use permit. I understand. By the way, you brought up a great example though on the entertainment.
Yeah.
If there's a DJ, they do need to bring it back. You need to do on there.
So like for example, Ojos Locos, they brought it up in our analysis that Ojos Locos they didn't need a conditional use permit for their alcohol.
Right.
But they did need it for the live entertainment.
Right.
Right. And so it's just we already have security measures in place.
Right.
They will still require to come in front of our planning commission to get approval.
Right. To me, it's just in the fairness thing, it's like, okay, and I don't go to the smoke shops either. I don't smoke cigarettes. I do smoke cigars, but I get mine in different places online and so forth. You're like, you're going strong in tobacco and you're letting alcohol slide a little bit.
But you know what? I can also say, like, as a council last meeting, not this one that passed, but the previous one, we approved a letter for a business here in our downtown area, and we agreed unanimously to write a letter to ABC. Right. So I think as a council, we're pro small businesses, restaurants, and bars. And I mean, it just kind of follows suit that in this meeting, we continue doing what we have, and then let's see how these new security measures will help our downtown avenue.
Okay, all right.
So
fair enough. On there, we can have a little bit of disagreement. Yeah. And I think the one that I personally was favoring is for the staff, for obviously grandfather the ones that are in, unless they do something or continues to be an issue. But
you know what I just saw, it's also interesting what Irma said, and I asked her during our analysis from January of 2022 to now, there were only 825 calls or something about that, which came out to 1 call per day from January 22. And I asked what were the calls? Were they loud noise? Were they assault? Were they larceny? Or what were they? It's specifically for restaurants and bars, because I was also trying to go in and seeing is this calls just specifically for bars or restaurants or other businesses that are in our area right there.
Well, the ones that would have had a CUP, but see, I guess I look at it from the other standpoint. It to me for the number the restaurants on there, and I read the staff report on there, it averages 2 per business, which most businesses don't have one that would have it and so forth. It's a lot of police calls. I know that now you're putting more police enforcement. I read the thing from Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, but that is more police enforcement that's not neighborhood related to another place. So anyways, I just think that I don't have a problem with, and I'm pro-business like you are, and then this is just a philosophy for any new business coming in that would require a CUP, because I think the CUP would give you, and you and I have approved enough CUPs. I get it. It's costly. I want to make it less costly. That was the thing. It was like $3,000.
Yeah.
And so why? That's the part is like, let's make it an even $1,000 or something, for the process, or $500 or something. But I'd rather almost have it nothing. Okay, charge nothing for the city to have the control.
Yeah, that's another bad idea.
And stuff like that. So that was an area that seems anti-business to me.
You see, the matter of exchanging ideas, great ideas, and that's actually not a bad idea. Reduce the cost.
Yeah. And maybe when you guys it comes up again. Well, hopefully it won't.
Hold that. Let me just write that down somewhere.
Because if it does come up, that means that you still have issues.
Okay.
So hopefully that's the other part on there. Okay. So, so the one thing. I don't know how to bring this up, but because you have a new gadfly there that came up and said some things about me, that one of the old council candidates, Ernesto Valle, was the first speaker. And you guys had like 16 speakers.
We did
on there,
and then they're a mix of one person at the end of public comment mentioned like. Originally we had 10 speakers and went up to 16, I think 17 speakers. And so some of those people that are coming in front of us don't really mention anything related to any topics that we're bringing forth that we had to discuss. And then there's some comments about the Athens, what's happening with Athens and the bill, the trash
on the commercial vehicle, on the commercial,
and that's gonna affect my business too. I know because I have Athens in my business.
Well, and before that, let's make that clear too. Athens, the new contract and a lot of state mandates. As I heard our city manager say that, but. So when you think that for commercial properties, it's the big businessmen that can afford it and so forth, there was like a 43-unit building that is 55% seniors, okay? And their thing went tripled. So these are seniors on a fixed income, it's a condo project. So they're paying for this increase. So when we start thinking, it's commercial or multi-units, the big rich landlords, not necessarily. So these things impact us. So you're right on that basis.
And so, I appreciate Athens actually gave me a call early this morning.
Good.
And they said they're going to reach out to every resident that went to that meeting.
Yeah.
And so they're going to give them a call, see how we can help, which is great. I appreciate that.
Sure.
They were supposed to go to the meeting yesterday just in case.
Sure.
But they're going to reach out to everybody that spoke in public comment.
So going back, I heard the last person, okay? And the last person that spoke was basically, people got here late and still were able to get a number to talk, so forth. Who cares when you got there? In the old days, you didn't even need a card. You just got up there and speak. So to me, thank goodness we don't have the guy that cusses anymore.
Yeah.
Thank God for that, because that was threatening. So that was in a different way. But the First Amendment allows you to come and criticize you. Horacio, I don't like you.
I think someone mentioned that too.
So,
that you're supposed to respect and
do all those things on there. So when the last caller says, and I get it. So what's happening, folks? There's about 4 or 5 people that want the city to issue a resolution against a ceasefire in Gaza and so forth. And you and I have talked about it. Folks, you can issue a resolution all you want. That's a federal government situation on there. The city of Downey and Downey should not be doing that. It's
our resolution is not going to change the narrative of what's going on over there. And that's a very political and very sensitive conversation that I was elected to, and I think mentioned that in our last show. Yeah. I was elected to improve our streets, make sure our city continues to grow and better, not to talk about to be safer, not to see what's going to happen in Israel or Gaza, and that's not my.
But let me go the other way. But I believe in their right for 3 minutes to say that. Okay, that they should be able to come to the council meeting and say this is what they want and whatever. And you're right. You just sit and listen. There's no actions. You can't have a dialogue.
Yeah, we can.
And do a non-agenda public comment.
My comment to them is, please vote and please reach out to your assembly person. Yeah. I can't speak or let them know, at that moment. But
Yeah.
my suggestion is always to speak to your representative,
Absolutely. So
where
that's
they
good.
can actually make some change.
Yeah, yeah. So I hope that you guys don't. The last speaker wanted to cut off that if somebody comes in
At a
after
certain
you
time.
start. Really, as long as they can get a card, then as long as it's the public hearing is still. I mean, the public comment section is still open.
Yeah.
Who cares? Who cares if you had? You guys are lucky. You guys only have like 30 minutes. We had it sometimes where we had 75 speakers on a big subject item, and it was 2 or 3 hours just for not agenda public comment.
I think we came in the right moment, me and Dorothy.
Yeah. So you guys are lucky. But anyways, I'm lobbing you on that. Just remember that in the back of your mind that's their 3 or 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So and that's sacred on there. So whatever you guys do, but that's and sometimes it was hard when we had a police shooting and people they're blaming the council and this and that. I used to have a trick. I used to like pinch myself, especially when I was mayor.
Oh, you told me that in planning.
And I was mayor, and they would attack me personally and so forth. So I try to give them respect unless they became unrespectful.
Yeah.
And I used to just pinch myself and try to pay attention to them and so forth. And until they got really bad, and So I told you the story about getting up once,
Yeah.
So, anyways, but good for you guys. I mean, you did what you got to do. You sit there, you listen,
Yeah.
and you be respectful.
Just respectful.
So,
They actually pulled. I think I said that in the last show too. They pulled me aside from the last meeting, and then they wanted to have a discussion with me. And honestly, I give them all the respect. They're still people. People are our community. Listen, hear them out,
Good.
and then
Good. So I got to bring this up because, he attacked me personally, this guy. It's just that it was great. So I got to bring up that Ernesto Valley thing. So after the last planning commission meeting, they had Ernesto Valley, he was a council candidate, the one that wanted to build the 5-story parking lot at Furman, and one of the kids kicked out of Downey Unified and all these things. So he wanted... he came to the planning commission about the townhomes, which he has nothing to do with it. But he mentioned during the public comment, he kind of said, one of you up there doesn't live in the city of Downey. So we're all looking at the planning commissioners. We have to live. That's the law. We have to live in the city of Downey. And when I asked at the end of the meeting, it turns out it was Irma, our director. And which she doesn't have to, but he was attacking her because I guess there was some project next to her residence that she didn't like it, and so he was kind of like, "Oh, you're a hypocrite," and because of this and that, right? So he came up to me in the lobby, and I was there with some of the planning commissioners. He goes, "Can I talk to you?" And I was on my way home after I'd been talking to all the people from the Treasure Island, and I said, "Yeah," and he says, you should care that Irma, this and this on that and whatever. And I'm like, I don't care. What do you mean you don't care? Well, I don't care what she did in her personal life. She's very professional here, and she's doing and guiding us by all the laws. And well, she did this on opposed it in here in Downey's favor. I go, do you know all the facts? The facts there on there, what that was and what this is and stuff like that. I go, no, you don't know because I don't know either. Well, you should care. I represent the people in District 3. I'm like, I don't care. Well, you should care. I don't care. And I think that's when he snapped, and he called me a piece of shit. He looks right in my face, gets right here, goes, you're a piece of shit. And I'm like, okay, this meeting's over. So I went over to our planning people, and then he followed me. And then I go, if he's still here, I'm going to call the police to escort me out. So that was kind of the extent of it. So now he comes to the council meeting, and I guess Ms. Pemberton removed him as one of her commissioners. Nothing to do with me. I don't have that kind of
I think
power.
her new commissioner is going to be awarded or given the certificate next meeting.
Yeah. Mia Vasquez, which is a great lady on there. Her dad was on there. I helped do I helped do his funeral. For Mr. Vasquez. Anyway, but he comes to the council and blames me for getting him fired from this commission, which had nothing to do with this, or because of this incident. But then he kept calling me a piece of shit, and he said I said it. I don't say that. I have never in my life called any other human being that. I just think it's immature and disrespectful. There's so many other words to use on there, like, disingenuous and, unlikable or whatever. And then he says, I'm a coward and a bully. I can see that people take me as a bully at times on there. I'm forceful, I'm loud, I'm passionate. I consider the word passion. That's what my wife likes to use. Passionate versus brotherly. But I'm not a coward, dude. It's like, so anyways, I just want to get on the record that it's easy for him to just get up there and spout all these things in front of other people. But it's not true. I didn't call him any names. He came up to me. He's putting down the staff, where the next day several other staff members thanked me for defending the staff because he was out of control. And I didn't have anything to do with it, but I'm glad Ms. Pemberton chose Ms. Vasquez now.
Yeah.
And he's serving on Mr. Trujillo's.
And he's still serving our community in some form.
Yeah. But I mean, again, he kind of took things out of content. And I remember when he announced the run, it was at a Little League closing day, and it took him 45 minutes to announce how he's running out things. It's like, you got little kids there. That's the place you want to do for politics. But anyways, it is what it is. So, okay. So we're getting not the green light, but the green fist. Okay. We've been telling Brandon, because I talk a lot here. Councilmember Ortiz on there is very nice, and we have a good dialogue. But when we go too long on there, our executive director there has some issue with. I think we covered most of the things from
the
last
only thing
night.
I think I like to mention is that one thing I asked staff to look into are two things, a panhandling ordinance. I don't know if you have noticed, but I've noticed a lot of people juggling in the middle of the streets.
Oh, I saw that over there. Yeah.
And then some people with their boards and everything. And at first it was just one. And then and then when I saw people juggling that, I was like, this is a little out of control.
Yeah.
So I asked staff to look into that. I also asked staff to expand the ordinance for homeless for sleeping in certain areas. So from the school, churches, playgrounds, and our Downey Civic Center and Downey Theater. So I thought it was just expanding a little bit.
Good. And congratulations! I know you helped start 4 new neighborhood watch groups.
So I personally,
I paid attention. You're surprised so I actually watched.
Yes, so I'm very proud. I'm trying to be very proactive and reaching out to my residents, and it's really hard to reach out to all the residents. So I wrote a letter to all my neighborhood watch block captains, and I said, please come to this neighborhood watch meeting. And for those that are interested in starting one, please come. So I started 4 new ones. So I'm excited for that. And I'm hoping I can start another 6 more before November. So I'm trying to make sure that we continue, because it's important that our residents are the eyes, like I said, the eyes and ears to anything that happens in our community. So I just want to make sure that we continue growing. This is a great program. Yeah, no, absolutely. I helped start it. Do you know when you started it, right? I did. On there, and I attended 163 neighborhood watch groups. And here I'm starting 4. No. But I didn't start them. They were doing my watch, but I attended them. I used to think it's a great way to attend. Number one, the residents feel connected, that they get a special number to call. Anybody planning to just do it. Call her. She will set it up. Give you a list of people. They'll call. Just all you have to do, especially now that the weather's getting good, offer your front lawn. Okay, you don't have to have them in your living room. Invite me, and I'll bring the café de olla. I think that's how you're starting. I think Downey always. I think now everybody knows me as the café de olla. I always bring the coffee for all the events. Yeah. You brought them for your council colleagues, but no love for Guerra here on Saturday. So anyway, and before I saw that you got some name recognition on West Little League. So tell us a little bit about that. Well, I've been in that league since 1979, and Saturday was the opening day. It's kind of neat to have my grandson and granddaughter now back in the league. So they've been away from the schools there for 7 years, and for the construction behind Stauffer, I was old-timer. So at the end, it was great to have the entire council was there together. All there, so that was good. We had our Army color guard, and we had the assemblywoman there, and it was kind of neat. And at the end, it was kind of, we have something special here today. And basically, they renamed the field the Guerra Baseball Complex. GBC. It's like that was our funny new thing. And you know what? It was very, very cool because I spent so much time and love there. It was emotional. I really did not expect it. The funny thing is, my wife and daughter and son-in-law, they all knew for about 3 weeks. And then did it? No. Wow. I asked my wife right there, I go, did you know? She goes, yeah, we've known for about 3 weeks. So they kept it. So on Monday, I'm coaching T-ball for my granddaughter. I'm the assistant coach. My daughter is the manager.
So we get back on the field, and it just felt so cool to be there. Not that it was named after me, but in the T-ball field. But then afterwards, she looked up and whatever, and it says Guerra Baseball Complex. I'm sorry, it's cool. It's just really cool. I
nice
love
memory for you and your family.
Yeah.
Nice.
And you know what? We spent so many hours. I met some of my best friends. Former Mayor Rick Rodriguez.
Yeah.
We met there 35 years ago, and we've had a friendship ever since. But I can name you 50 other people. So, folks, get involved in leagues and things like that. And if you put your heart and soul into it, you get a lot more out of it.
Yeah.
Anyway, so thank you for bringing it up.
No.
That was so cool. It's just a nice special moment in my life.
No, and it was nice. It was nice to be part of that. And, something I live up to, like, I want to be a little bit like you and Rick and Alex and, Claudia. People all know you. And so I'm just starting my journey right here.
Yeah.
And
well, you're doing a great job. Keep it going on there. This is a great way to share. I hope you guys enjoy this. Not only that would be informative. The goal here is to be positive. Once in a while, we'll slap somebody that was an idiot or something, but we'll do it with the utmost respect. But write to us. Let us know what your thoughts. If you disagree with something here, and we can address it later on, or what else you would like to see. We keep promising to go out in the field. We're going to go on a bus ride on the Downey link on there. We're going to be doing some other things and stuff. We just haven't done it. Right now it's during Lent, and the year's been going on and so forth, but we will. So I hope you stay tuned. I hope you write to us. Let us know your thoughts and your wishes. So anyways, we'll end with that. So thank you for listening. Thank you for watching Talking Downey with Mario
and Horacio.